Hi everyone, so we recently got this huge sink from Costco online, and it's actually really quality than I thought. So it comes with the drainage thing here, and then it's really big, so I plan on washing vegetables and fruit and things right here, and then, you know, having another bin and transferring it over to there. We plan on having the water as gray water, so it'll be hooked up to a pipe down at the bottom, and then it'll run a hose to any part of the yard so that I can reuse the water. And also, when there's soapy water or something, I'm going to be using the compostable green soaps so that it won't affect my plants. And if I do use something harsh, then we'll have the option to dump it down the toilet or somewhere, so it won't be an issue. And it's a beautiful sink as well. It has this little tap here. We haven't hooked it up yet, but it has hot and cold, and it has this part here that you can pull down, and it has the different levels of spritzing, which is a lot more than I expected out of a sink like this. And I guess it's an industrial sink meant for like a business, and it's by this company Serenity. And it came as this big sink section, and then a box that had this that you had to assemble the faucet, and then it had legs. So this is the box that it came in. It's from Trinity, and it's stainless steel, and it's called, and its logo is "Everything in its place," its motto. And this is the dimension of the sink. Let me just turn it around. Oh yeah, I'm upside down. Okay, so it is 41 inches wide by 24 inches depth, and it is 49 inches tall. And I love it. I love the way it looks, and when I use it, it's going to be fantastic. It'll allow me to reuse a lot of clean water. A lot of times you just want to wash the dirt and the bugs off of your plants and then be able to bring it indoors. And where my other system was to wash the vegetables and the fruit in the kitchen and dump it outside, tub by tub, and that's pretty tedious, especially if you want to cook more often. It's going to be convenient. Hi everyone, so I have washed these sweet potato greens leaves several times already to ensure that they're clean, and in fact the water was clear. And I just wash it once in a tub and in my little container in this pot, and then I transfer it to a different container, and then I dump the water out, and then I do that over and over again so that I can reuse the water a second time to water my plants. So for a light lunch, I am going to saute the sweet potato greens that I showed you, and let me go back to them. Sweet potato greens are edible, but not potato greens. However, you have to cook them because some greens have a lot of oxalic acid, and that can mess up your kidneys. But if you cook it, you inactivate the oxalic acid. And a lot of vegetables have it, including spinach and stuff, but that's in a smaller quantity. But So in this case, you cook it and there's no more oxalic acid, and so the stems are a little bit crunchy and then the leaves are a little bit soft. And just add a little black pepper, coconut aminos or salt, and garlic, and it's so delicious. Just a quick saute. It doesn't take long to cook this at all. It's really simple and very abundant, because if you grow sweet potato greens in your yard, you'll know that this produces a ton of leaves. And just from gathering leaves from one batch, one little bunch, I was able to get a pot full of vegetables. So I also harvested 4 eggplants. I believe a possum or some animal got into the yard and ate one complete entire eggplant. All that was left on the stem was the top right there. So it pulled it off, yanked it off, and ate it because there's nothing left. And I know I had 7, so here are 4, and I harvested 2 the other day. And so there was a 7th one that was relatively large, about yay long. So whatever the case, I still have the majority of my eggplants, and that's going to be for dinner. I'm going to make some possibly eggplant lasagna. So if you work directly in the sunlight, it's going to burn you. You're going to feel the heat and you're going to be sweating and hot. But it's an important thing if you have shade to use it. So I was working in the shade of washing those sweet potato greens in my sink that's outdoors, and I'm in the shade completely, and I don't feel any sunburning and I don't feel any heat, and it's quite cool, in fact. So you can extend your working hours if you can manage to stay in the shade. And by the way, this sink is really awesome. It's weatherproof, and it's providing me an area where I can wash things, fruits and vegetables, before I bring them indoors. And then after that, I reuse the water to dump onto my plants in the garden. So every ounce counts. So let me show you how abundant sweet potato greens can be. So here amongst my tomato alley, I had a huge cluster of sweet potato greens growing, and I decided to yank them out, because I don't want them growing amongst the tomatoes and causing some kind of disease situation. So I pulled them out, and that's what I washed to have for lunch. Now here by my wooden garden bed, I have a ton of sweet potatoes, greens and sweet potatoes that just climbed and propagated itself. It wants to live. So here are a ton. Ideally you want the young tender tendrils of sweet potato vines, but if you can't get them, and you can use just the leafy portion, not even the stem of the older ones. Now earlier in the year I plucked out this section of sweet potato vines, a ton of it, nearly cleared it out, and it came back full force. So there's another harvest if I want to have it. And over here is another batch of sweet potato vines. Just a ton that's just rambling on, and it's fine. I just love it. It's really luscious, and it's easy to pull out. It's not even a problem, and in fact it's a ground cover, and it provides shade and coolness down below for lizards and other critters, which I love. I love lizards because they'll eat a lot of bugs and decrease the bug population in this area. So I would love to provide shade for them for their survival. And by the way, I noticed that I have a lot more wildlife in my garden and a lot more varied wildlife in my garden in the past few years. So I've seen a lot more lizards because I think I have more water on this property as I dragged in mulch, and it keeps the moisture below. So like right there, it looks really dry, but below it's gonna have some moisture still, and I love it. It's like a moisture sink. And so the other day, like I said, I've been seeing blue jays, I've been seeing some yellow-tailed butterflies, which I've never seen before here, and then a lot of lizards, like many lizards of multiple generations. So that's wonderful. And then recently I saw a hawk that just, you know how they soar rather than flap their wings a whole lot. So I saw it going by, it flew by, and then the next day I saw it sitting on the power line up above. And I was thinking, oh, that's wonderful. Well, first I thought, is it here to try to eat my chickens? And I was a little worried, but I don't think aerial predators really have a chance at my chickens. It's mostly the ground critters like raccoons and possums and skunks and stuff. So, plus when I have my chickens free ranging, we're out here watching them to make sure they don't get eaten. And so actually I welcome the hawk because hopefully it has a lot of offspring here, and then they'll eat up any mice, rats, small critters, maybe baby raccoons and baby possums, you know. So hopefully it'll keep the other types of pest pressure at bay for me. So, you know, the cycle of life. So with that, I bid you farewell and have a great day. And I'll see you in the next one. And I hope that you get the chance to garden and have lots of abundance and have some peace. By the way, like I said, shade is good. So look at how much shade there is from this lemon tree. It provides shade, and then with growing these abundant plants, they're providing shade for the shorter plants, and it just gives them a higher chance of survival. It keeps the moisture in the soil a little longer because of the sun blasts downwards on the plants at noon, but below, directly below, deep in the canopy, it stays cool and shady. And so yeah, the shade and the sun, your design of your garden, they both help wildlife and the plants themselves. Anyhow, I've talked way too long. I'll see you in the next one.